Hello, everybody. Welcome to Frame Trap. I am your host, Brad Ellis. As always, joining me this week is Daniel Bloodworth.
Hello.
And Mike Huber.
Yo.
Damiani, not this week. He's taking a week off or an episode off. He'll be back next time, though. Fear not.
Yeah.
He'll have plenty to talk about.
Pikmin 4 dropping tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
That seems like out of nowhere for me. But yeah, I'm curious about it. It looks cool. I've only played Pikmin 1, though.
Okay.
So yeah, I can just hop into 4, right? I don't think there's like a story I have to worry about.
I mean, there's little
tiny bits, but like,
yeah,
it's a Nintendo game, so I guess, Don't really get.
We're gonna talk about that on podcast too. So.
Yeah, we'll get into it. Before we get into the show, though, please check us out on patreon.com/easyallies if you'd like to support us. We would greatly appreciate it. Is how we keep going, thanks to generous viewers and listeners out there like you. So please do that. Also, if you join that Patreon tier at $5 and up, you can join our Discord and chat with people about games, random stuff, memes. Also, we always have a top 10 list in there every month, correct?
Yep.
Every month.
Top 10.
This month it is like minions or goons, you said? Top 10 like minions or goons?
Yeah, they said mooks is on like,
mooks?
that's not a word I use.
Mooks?
I'm like, mooks, okay.
Seems
like mafia shit.
Yeah. He's a mook. Yeah.
But you know, like
that.
little Goombas and bokoblins, it's kind of like your
Koopa Troopas,
you're like level 1 enemy kind of.
Yeah, really low on the totem pole enemies, stuff like that. Also, if you enjoy the show or any of our shows, please leave us a nice review on any podcast service you use out there. It would help us out. We want to reach as many people as possible. We want to saturate them. Global saturation with video games.
Heck yeah.
All that good stuff.
I think a top 5 grudge that I will never let go is when the patrons didn't put Prelude on the list. That's it. I will never, ever let it go. Like, my belief in them went down.
Okay. We want them to still continue to vote.
Continue to vote, though. Please do. But he was upset, but please do vote. He would be more upset, though, if you stopped voting, though. So
Yeah.
Never stop voting.
Yeah.
Also, leave us like a like or something, or subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube and all that good stuff. Please do that.
Before we get going, for context, for everybody, especially if you're watching this after the fact, who's not caught up to date on the streaming, the AC is out today.
Correct.
It will not be
It's
fixed
out.
until Saturday morning. So we are going to be
Brutal.
sweaty.
Yeah,
We're already
brutal.
sweaty. It's been 10 minutes.
So forgive us if someone needs to step out for a second or whatever. Just it is what it is. We're gonna do our best. We'll get through this.
Yeah.
But it's hot. We're all very hot. Feels like I'm in a sauna. So it'll be extra crazy.
And I don't really have AC at home either.
Yeah,
so
you
there's
can
been
just-
like no relief whatsoever.
Yeah, you can just leave that open, I guess. It's fine. Let's talk about our first game, though. Exoprimal.
Oh, yeah.
We should just talk about this because, it's Capcom, baby. They got a brand new multiplayer game out. We've played a little bit of Blood. I feel like you have played maybe the most of this game because you did the beta a little bit.
Yeah, we played with
You
the
seem to-
patron tier for a little bit, and then I played a couple of rounds before the stream.
I would say, Blood, you probably have a better grasp on the game than all of us to an extent.
I'm not sure if I do. 'Cause
Like
it's
when
a
I was
weird
playing,
game, but
you
yeah.
were like doing other objectives, I guess, and I just didn't know what was going on quite yet. You were like attacking their cube or something. I was like, what's happening? But yeah, this is a multiplayer co-op / PvP focused game where it's like you have Anthem-esque robot suits, I would say. They're what are they called again? Exosuits?
It reminds me of Warframe.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Like
Warframe.
the look of them.
But you go through levels, you complete PvE objectives, which is usually shooting dinos, and you're racing against another team. Then it seems like at the end you have a PvP kind of encounter.
Which made me love the game 10 times more.
What, did you not think they had that?
I didn't
Oh, you.
know what the hell was going on with
Yeah.
Exoprimal. I was like, shooting dinos, cool, whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's 5v5, and yeah, so basically they pit you up to like race through the same objectives at the same time. And so you're trying to be done with the objectives first, and then when you get to the final objective, they put you in the same dimension. And so it's basically you can hinder the other team by like taking them out, taking out their cube or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's still about, basically getting the cube or whatever that final objective is done before the other team. And then also in that final round, the really cool part is that then you can like commandeer your own dinosaur.
Yeah.
So you can
is
control
cool.
like a
Turf war.
Carnotaurus, something like that.
Carnotaurus.
It's like it looks sort of like a T-Rex, but it's got spikes on its head.
Oh.
Or a Triceratops we've seen as well. But it's insane because like you just go point to point and then you just like spawn like floods of dinos. Like a torrential rain of raptors coming down.
Yeah, and what's interesting about this game is also a narrative focus to it. There is a main story you go through.
We didn't really experience it in the stream, but essentially like when you're playing, it's like even though you're doing these PvP matches, when you get done with enough matches, then like you'll get a cutscene. You'll also, after every match, you'll get like these little data things on like this wheel or whatever, like this flowchart, and unlock bits of the story that way, and unlock additional cutscenes and additional bits of lore and all of that sort of thing. And the game, like the further you get along with your player level, like the more this kind of stuff that you unlock, and the modes change as well.
I was
get
going to
matched
ask
into
about
different
that,
modes.
How do you feel about that, Blood? As like a multiplayer game, do you think that will push a lot of players away, kind of thing? They're like, hey, I just wanted to play this game with my friends or whatever, but I don't want to feel like I have to grind necessarily or keep playing to unlock more content to play.
It's weird because it's not a game where you get more powerful by like insane amounts.
Right, I'm just talking about
you
like,
have like mod slots and stuff that you
I'm
unlock.
talking like game modes and stuff like that.
Yeah, we kept seeing the same map.
Yeah, we did see the same map a lot, but
So
we were
many
also
times.
at the same level. So I'm thinking that maybe like if you're matched up with a friend that's already a higher level, if they're like the person initiating the match, you're going to see like their modes and stuff or whatever. Yeah.
I think
I definitely want to see like Mitch's review and stuff and see how that stuff like progresses and works later on.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting idea, but I also think it's kind of confusing, but I haven't reached the end or anything like that. It seems weird to me on paper, but maybe it works out as you play through the game. I don't really know.
Yeah. And then too, maybe like later on, like you do get more of a choice of like what kinds of things that you want to hop into.
Yeah, I just feel like in Age Blood where there's so many multiplayer games and so much to choose from, especially free games, getting someone to invest in this game and they're playing and they're like, oh, I got the same map 4 times,
right?
I'm out, or like this is all the game is, I'm out.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely a thing, but it's weird because it does sort of, I mean, like Isla just skipped all of it, but it does sort of try to pull you in at the beginning with like the story stuff, and it's just bonkers. And it's insanely cheesy.
You get some alt-dimension shit in there, Blood, I'm fucking out.
You get like time travel.
That's the whole point, though.
Exactly.
It's all insanity.
No,
like it's like you have an AI mastermind robot that's controlling all the dimensions and like basically using human beings as like a resource for data.
I feel like it was going for the meme potential with its insanity and just like raining dinos, like ha ha ha, raining dinos. I feel like
I think raining dinos is cool. But
raining dinos is cool.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Though.
I also think that maybe like having like seeing the same type of thing, like one like gets you used to like what the crap is going on in this gameplay and gives you a little bit of time to like sort out like, okay, which of these exosuits do I like?
Sure, maybe
because you basically have like 3 roles. You have like your assault role, you have your healer role, and you have your tank role. And you're like, you went for tank first, but then like you're having a kind of a rough time with the tank and decided to go over to assault.
It felt like it wasn't fast enough, but then when the PvP started to roll in, that's again when my respect for this game went up tenfold, because that is when you really need to know and understand team comps and change your mech in that battle at the end, because I was not changing and I was just getting slaughtered by like some samurai shit that would just come up, melee me a couple times, dead. So I think that was really cool, and like the PvP really helped, I think, connect all the systems in the game in a really cool way.
Yeah. And even among like each of those things, like the different suits do play pretty good.
Like, sure do. Yeah.
You've
even
got
the different tanks, like within its own class.
Yeah, I think that's all really cool.
Yeah, because like I know like the one that Isla was using for a healer like was more like big area of effects.
Yeah.
Well, there's one that I had gravitated to where like she was like roller skating around or whatever, and you would switch your guns from like damage mode to healing mode.
Oh, nice.
So I would actually shoot you to heal you.
Nice. Like
Ana from Overwatch did that.
There it is.
Yeah.
I knew you'd get that name.
Yeah.
I was like, who am I thinking of?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like on the assault side, there's like the one guy. Like I was surprised because I thought I wouldn't be good with it. But it ended up being like one of my more effective ones was the guy that was like a melee slasher.
Melee.
It's like you would just
yeah.
like go right into the fray
Right,
and
yeah,
just like kick a group of raptors
Yeah,
into
that
the
was
air.
cool. That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the Exoprimal suits look really sick, or the Exo suits. I do like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like
good
the,
cosmetics.
There's
Surprisingly,
the tank one with like the katana. Which
There's
I thought
some,
was really
there's
cool.
some funny skins for sure.
Yeah, there's some funny good stuff there.
Some of them you got to pay for. You could pay up.
Yeah, of course.
for
It's
sure.
a live service game, so
Yeah.
it is what it is. That's just the nature of the beast, and that's their attempt at it. You know, it's better than Resistance.
yeah,
Or sorry, what, Reverse? That was
Reverse.
that was
Right,
the
right.
worst one.
reverse.
Reverse was the really bad one. Really bad one. God. But yeah, it's like it's a fascinating game. I'm curious to see how this game will do.
It's somehow
this day and
better
age.
and more boring than I anticipated. You know,
think
it's
it's
somehow
fair.
both.
I
It's
think
somehow
it's fair.
both. Where
I
it's
think it's
like,
fair.
yeah, part of me is like, yo, I could see like kind of grinding out this story and getting into the PvP a little bit, but then at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, just like how many games there are, how many free-to-play games there are, how much competition there is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we've had this conversation over the years where it's like to commit to a game is good enough anymore for something that requires
Yeah.
an investment.
Yeah, it's hard.
Sure. Yeah.
And then like the Game Pass vibe of it just like makes the game just feel like a little more disposable,
I
but
think
it
this
also is really
game-
helping.
This is a full price game,
yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
it's 60 on other platforms.
Yeah,
but
it's an expensive
on Game
game, dude.
Pass.
I think Game Pass is getting people to even play it.
Dude,
Right.
I thought it was like $20.
No,
What?
this is a $60 game.
Okay, mark it down, dude.
I think
wow.
I think that's too much
That is way too much. What?
for what it is right now. From what we've played of it.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't recommend it for $60 quite
No,
yet.
no, 0% I would recommend
Yeah.
that for $60. No way.
Yeah.
You just look across the aisle to other free-to-play games. I mean, hell, even Diablo is like a long-term investment that is that price.
$70.
Sure, 10 more bucks.
I know, but
Sure,
still,
sure,
I know
sure.
you mean.
Yeah.
I know you.
Yeah, full price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, that's like premium price. You know, for a premium multiplayer game.
Yeah.
It's not quite there yet
Yeah.
to be that. So, but
Wow.
we'll see how it goes. Game Pass was a smart move.
Yeah.
For them, they took the bag, and I think that's a good idea to do that.
Yeah.
I'm curious if this game will get discounts soon. I have no idea what the player numbers are like, but
Yeah.
I guess we'll see. I'm glad Capcom took a chance. You know, take a swing. You got
Yeah.
to every now and then. Glad they tried something new.
Yeah. Like, I really like Outriders.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Yeah.
But
But that wasn't even a
It's-
like live service.
yeah,
like that was
exactly.
full on like
Just
you
multiplayer,
get with your
go
buddy,
through the
go
campaign.
through a story, you're done.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I was going to say I really like Outriders, but something about this like co-op and PvP vibe of Exoprimal, there's like something there.
Sure.
It's just like, are you going to commit your money and your time to get to that good stuff?
Yeah.
How much does this feel like Overwatch? Does it feel differentiated enough?
Do you mean like gameplay wise?
Yeah, yeah.
Really different.
Okay.
I would say,
Incredibly
really
different.
There's no
Yeah.
like PvE objectives at all in Overwatch when you're playing like that. Like,
Got it, yeah.
I would
just
say,
I
like-
just with the cube thing, it made me feel like an
I mean, the
Overwatch.
Oh,
Halo,
Halo,
stuff,
yeah.
yeah. I
Team
mean,
Fortress.
multiplayer games have done that. Like Team Fortress 2 is
Yeah.
like what made that popular kind of thing. But like, I love the payload mode because I'm
Same.
TF2, so
Payload's
I'm
the
always
best.
down. I love payload mode.
Always down.
So
for
when I
payload.
saw there's a payload in this game, I was like, oh, sick.
Yeah.
But you weren't like, I guess you defend it from other players, right? Because that's in
Yeah, and the
second place,
dinosaurs
which
will
is good.
smash it too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
And that's like
cool.
what like when I got in there with the dinosaur, like I just started
Yeah.
stampeding towards their cube and smashing it up
Yeah.
as much as I could.
It's hard for me to say blood too because I haven't spent as much time yet with
Right,
the
yeah.
game. But it feels different. There's like brief shades of like switching your mechs, which I think is cool. Your exosuit anytime you want, which is cool. Like Overwatch, you could do that, but it still feels pretty different. But Overwatch is free to play now, also.
Yeah. Oh, one thing I wanted to just mention.
Yes.
With the story stuff, the cutscenes, the goofiness as well is like your character. They have it's okay. It's kind of like a simplistic like create a character thing. Mm-hmm. But what's hilarious is it's full on silent protagonist. Like they have no voice whatsoever. But there are times where it kind of looks like they're talking, or like they like make these gestures back at people, and it's just like you just gotta go with this and not explain it or anything. It's like, okay, everyone's gonna have a conversation, but you, and they just call you Ace.
Yeah.
It's like, hey Ace.
Hey Ace. Yeah, it's like they try it also at sometimes and it feels like they didn't try it in that sense. You're
Yeah.
just like, okay, whatever.
But full on like salmon globe ads in there.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
The whole vibe. The whole vibe is
It's a wild
wild.
game. If you're curious about, just check it out on Game Pass first.
Yeah, do not
If you have
pay
access
a lot
to
of
it.
money for
Oh,
Exoprimal.
yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah, it's hard.
That is
Yeah.
unhinged.
Yeah.
That is an unhinged price.
Wait. Just wait.
Good lord.
Okay.
$60, dude. Fucking Zelda is $10 more. Like, what are you even doing, Exoprimal?
Well,
What in God's name are you doing?
I think it's important to like say not all games are equal in that sense, and it's like some games will have more perceived value if they're the same price, but I just don't feel comfortable where the game's at yet that I've played where it's worth $60 yet.
Yeah.
It is at least
Agreed.
encouraging that it's supposedly gets better the further you play it.
That's
so.
good news to hear,
Yeah,
but you just got to make
true.
it to
But
that.
I don't know
True.
firsthand.
Yeah,
Gotta see that in game. You're right. You're right.
You gotta make it to the end, and the journey to the end needs to be fun.
True.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
This game, Below Earth, I'm curious about this game. This game looks cool. You played some of this, which is Gunbrella.
Yeah.
Tell me about this game.
Yeah, so they sent over a preview build, and yeah, wasn't able to get to it before the preview embargo, but we're doing it here. But yeah, this is it's from Doinksoft, who I think Devolver actually acquired
Oh,
recently.
they own them. Okay.
Yeah, they did Gato Roboto, which I didn't play, but I'm familiar with a little bit. But it is 2D side-scrolling action-adventure game, and you're this guy with the title Gunbrella, and so it's like,
The Penguin.
yeah, it's a gun, but you also use the umbrella, and the umbrella can do all kinds of stuff. So you can jump and then dash and then kind of float down.
Yep.
You can
Love it.
kind of dash forward with it, really any direction. And that's one of the things that takes a little bit getting used to, is because you can use the face buttons to jump and attack, but you can also use the triggers.
Oh.
So you can bumper jumper kind of. But the advantage there is there are times where it's helpful to be using the right analog stick to aim. You can free aim the gun in any
okay.
direction,
Yeah.
and then shoot with the trigger. So just trying to figure out what feels the most comfortable in different situations.
We saw this game a while ago, right?
They've shown it off a
Showed
couple
it
of
off,
times, yeah.
Okay.
This preview build is a couple hours long. They said about 2 hours. I think it took me a bit longer than that. It was closer
Couple
to
hours for
3
preview
or
build, that's
4.
nice.
But they said it's around the first half of the game.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's actually a really good chunk that I got to play. And the start of it, there's actually a lot more story than I expected. And I really have liked the characters and the people I've interacted with towns and stuff. But the start of it is you're a guy who lives off in this house in the woods or whatever, just you and your family, and you go out to gather some vegetables or something, and you come up to the house, you head back to the house, and you see it's on fire.
Uh-oh.
You get in there,
Evil Within 2.
and your wife is dead,
Oh.
blood everywhere.
Jessica!
And the Gunbrella is there.
Oh.
So your whole mission is to find out
Who the Gunbrella belongs
who
to.
the Gunbrella belongs to, where
It's
this came from.
you!
Yeah, it's you from
You
the future.
did it!
Yeah.
So you're going from town to town to hunt this person down, figure out
What
who
have
it
I
is,
done?
talk to different people, and then you have to do things along the way. But yeah, it's like I said, lots of cool quirky characters. There's a guy in the sewer just named Stuart.
That's funny.
And you can pick up rats, and then he'll cook the rats for you.
Nice. Rat King.
Yeah.
And what was interesting
Does
is
that give you buffs, Blood?
yes, actually. So the way the health works is, I think you start out with 3 or 4 hearts, but then things like rats will give you bonus hearts, little blue hearts on the end. So you can actually maybe be down to 1 heart on your main
But you have
health bar,
bonus
but then
hearts?
you have 2 bonus hearts.
Love stuff like that. Yeah.
So fun little things like that. And yeah, so it's you kind of talk to little people, do missions, and then be okay, there's this barricade up, and they're yeah, you can't go further down the train tracks or whatever because the mayor's been kidnapped by this cult, and so you go through the sewers and you infiltrate this cult hideout and everything, and it was really interesting because the mayor is I slipped this key off of one of the cult members, but it's not the key to my cell, but it's a key that you need to get deeper in and stuff like that. And you get there, and these cult members are like sacrificing people. They're like kidnapping and sacrificing the pure blood for like, you know, whatever kind of thing. And it just seems like they're crazy people. But then they kind of look like they're just going to let you out or whatever. And they're like, what? Come on, man. We're not going to let you out.
Yeah.
And then, so you attack them. But when you kill them, that was the last tipping point. Their blood like creates this flesh beast.
Whoa.
So you get into this
Shit.
crazy boss fight.
Damn.
And then after that, they're like these like eyeball things when you're going your way back out through the hideout, trying to get back to like release the mirror or whatever. These eyeball things are like hunting you down, chewing on all the bodies that you kill stay where they were, or like the blood splatter.
Mutilate those corpses, dude. Don't let them come back.
You can't. But what
Necromorphs.
happens though is these eyeball monsters are munching on them, and then they start coming after you. And if you blast them, they just like break apart for a few seconds and then reassemble.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. So
Some
it's
Zetsu shit.
yeah. So it's definitely like getting out of an area like that is pretty frantic. I'm trying to think. There's some other things like so with your gun, you have infinite shotgun shells.
Infinite
Shotgun shells.
I don't know how I
and
feel
then
about that, actually.
but it's like it's a blast close range, so you have to get in
Yeah.
to use the shotgun, and then you pick up ammo, other kinds of ammo that can also shoot. So
Got it.
you pick up rifle rounds that can be long range, shoot all the way across the screen.
okay.
So ranged filth is a resource.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you
All right.
can,
I
you
feel
can
good
buy,
about
you
it.
can buy them at shops, so you can get them in chests or whatever. And then there's also grenades that you can get, and those are like at the shop, like I think rifle rounds are like 20 for like a 4-pack or something like that, and a grenade is like 100 for one.
Dang.
And then there are also
Boss
these
killer.
there are also these saw blades that kind of ricochet off of walls and stuff.
Nice.
A little bit. But one of the things that's nice too is that your
Top 10 ricocheting saw blades. That's a good list right there.
your umbrella, in addition to like, you know, being used for like platforming and stuff, it also acts as a shield. Mm-hmm. So if like something's shooting at you, you can stick your Gunbrella out and block bullets. And if you get that perfect parry, it'll ricochet a bullet back. And so that's how you have to like fight some things. Just wait for that last second and pop it open and pop the bullet back.
How's the timing on that?
It's good. That's the one, like the controls on everything are really tight. You also have like infinite wall jumps, so you can like wall jump up like the same wall or whatever.
Cool.
And then, you know, wall jump and then chain that into like a thing. There was a section I got to on like a mountain where they had like these kind of hooks dangling on ropes. And then you'd like get to the hook and then swing back and forth and then swing yourself up.
Okay,
and then,
some platforming
yeah,
challenges. Cool.
Yeah, so lots of good stuff there. And then there's even points where there's like little choices that are interesting to where like I'm not entirely sure like the benefits or whatever, but I think it like sort of changes some of your interactions with the NPCs. So like the sewer guy, he was like, I lost my gem. You know, the cult members took it or whatever. But then you also come across this merchant outside of the cult base, and he wants the gem too.
Oh.
So you have to decide who you're going to give the gem to and who you're going to upset, and
Okay.
that has
That's fun.
You know,
Consequences.
one
and
way or
benefits.
the other down the line. You know, like
Yeah.
the merchant, he's like, it's like I won't forget this.
Oh.
You know, like I'm like I haven't seen him again yet, but
Maybe won't sell you some certain items or something
Yeah.
later.
yeah. Well, I think even at that point you can't buy anything from him anymore.
Awesome.
What's the 2D game you liked? The violent one, very violent one, like Castlevania 2. Just had the update with co-op.
Infernax.
Infernax.
Oh,
That
okay.
kind of reminds me of like Infernax.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
choices.
Yeah, yeah,
Parts
yeah.
of this, like
Yeah.
with the fleshy stuff, that reminded me a little bit of Carrion a little bit.
Okay.
Just the way that
Yeah.
stuff kind of looks. And like I said, it's like when you kill things, there's like blood splatter, you know, all across
Yeah.
that little spot.
What's the structure of this? Is it like stage based or is it kind of open where you're going?
Yeah, it's not like a full open map. You are going kind of town to town. There's like a train, and so you're going train station to train station.
Okay.
Sick.
But areas like are pretty complex, and like there are like little hidden doors inside. So like even getting the gem for that guy, I could have totally like missed that because I would have been, if I was too focused on like trying to get away from like those monsters, I could have easily not seen as like, oh, I can go through this door that I couldn't go through before.
Got it.
And just gotten out of there. What they have for checkpoints is they have like these little like park benches and the little blue benches, and you can rest.
Hollow Knight.
Yeah, you can rest at the bench, and that'll refill your health and save. And then more rare, there are beds.
Oh.
So like in like the second town, like there's a bed that you can go back to in the hotel. Like you have your own hotel room. And when you rest in the bed, then it gives you the full 3 blue hearts in addition. So it's kind of like doing the beds in Zelda, and Tears of the Kingdom and stuff.
Okay.
So that's a nice little way to do checkpoints. And yeah, there's just like a lot of fun little things. There's this junkyard that has like these kind of like magnet switches. So these like big blocks of, junk all set together that, you either raise or lower to get past different areas. And then, like I said, there's a mountain that's a little bit later. And yeah, it just got a lot of style and personality, and it feels
it looks
really
cool.
fun to play.
What we saw of it a while ago. Do you know when this comes out, Blood?
It is supposed to come out this year.
Sometime this year?
On
Cool.
PC and Switch, but I do not have a
hard dates, nothing
yet.
like that. Okay,
Yeah.
well, I will be keeping an eye out. Sounds really fun. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're big time into this. So, it sounds great.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds really good.
Yeah. And, like, the cult is just kind of the tip of the iceberg on, like, some of the, like, messed up stuff going on in this world. Yeah.
Rated M for mature?
Probably.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah, he's
do
talking
not
about like
doubt
fleshy
it.
bits
Yeah.
and stuff, so probably.
Yeah, like, you just have, like, body parts flying whenever
Yeah.
you shoot something. So, yeah.
Excellent.
A lot of great smaller games coming up, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Another one I'm curious about coming up is WrestleQuest.
WrestleQuest.
Michael Huber,
Yeah.
a game that seems made for you.
Dude. Yeah.
A RPG where you're wrestlers.
Yeah, cream of the crop.
Yeah.
Heavy Macho Man vibes in this game.
Was he in the game?
There's like all
Because there's actual
Yes.
wrestlers in it, right?
Yes. So it's like Randy Savage, it's the Road Warriors, Animal and Hawk. I saw like Jeff Jarrett in
So all
there.
the older boys.
Yes. So I mean, I love pro wrestling so fucking much. Shout out to Triple H vs. The Rock at Backlash 2000. I was on board just because it is melding two things I love, and that's just like classic old school RPGs,
Yeah.
and professional wrestling, and the art style.
Yeah.
When I first saw this game, it was just so striking. It is aesthetically pleasing to look at. All the effects they do, just the art style. When you do it with one of your first special moves, Brad, Stone Cold Stunner.
Sick. We're really early, dude.
Yeah,
That
it's
must
like
get
one of the
crazy.
first ones.
That's like highest power level of real wrestling.
I know. And when you do it, like it'll do some cool, like persona style.
Oh,
like,
really?
Your character.
Sick, like very
Like when the all out attacks happen, kind of.
very stylized attack kind of.
Really stylized game. The one thing that threw me off was that, and I was still confused. I'm like, what? Is like you play as toys or something?
Smash Brothers, dude.
Yeah, I guess so.
funny.
Yeah, sure. So you're playing as toys in like this little toy land. So like things are like bigger,
Okay.
but it's like you're not like there is no like real world. Like the story so far is like weirdly confusing, but that's fine. But the intimate character story is really cool. You're playing as like, you look up to Macho Man.
Sick.
You're like sleeping in like the back of a ratty gym to start out. It's all about your journey to be a pro wrestler and make it to the big time. And when you go to sleep, there's like this big Macho Man poster. And your character is just like, there's no voice acting. There's like a little bit, your character will be like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, just
Like
little
that stuff,
Zelda sound ups, stuff like that they used to do
Yeah.
in old games.
Yeah. Your character is like, Macho Man, like, guide me tomorrow in the match, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, it's like a, open world. There's like a world map that you can freely roam around in, and then you'll come up to, say, a little town or something. Like one of the first ones is like Boxwood or Boxtown or something. And it's like kind of the crime-ridden place, People are like bullying people. There's like a gang of mice that like run the town.
That's cool.
So like fairly early on, you're sent to go, perform in like a lower end match. The combat is turn-based, and it does a really, really cool job of combining turn-based RPG mechanics with pro wrestling. So you'll be in the ring, sometimes it'll be one-on-one, sometimes it'll be, tag team matches, and you have like your basic attacks, then you have your gimmick attacks,
Nice.
like your Stone Cold Stunners.
Gotta have the gimmick.
That'll use AP, you only have a set amount of that. That'll refill when you level up, and then I think like go to like a medic somewhere on the world map and kind of like refill your health and everything. But it doesn't like recharge that often, so you kind of have to manage your AP a little bit if you're like going through basically a dungeon. There's like dungeons. There was like a big junkyard one, little puzzle based too. Not really puzzle based, but like you have to clear certain obstacles. And there's like optional treasure chests you can find that give you gear, full on gear and stats, full on RPG mechanics. But then, more on combat is you have your basic attacks and your gimmicks, and taunt can like build a hype meter to keep the crowd focused.
That's sick.
And on
Actual
it,
hype meter.
the actual hype meter can swing to like your enemy's favor or your favor, and depending on how high or low that is, that'll give you different parameters. If it goes too low, you'll take more damage. If you use the same attacks in a row, you don't get as much hype. So it's about like mixing it up, keeping the crowd engaged. And then some enemies need to be pinned. So you have to like attack them enough, they'll go down. Then one of your moves is like pin. It's so funny, the animations. Some referee will just like come out of nowhere, like sprint into the ring, and then it's super easy. It's like I didn't even come close to failing, but maybe like later on it'll be a little harder, but it's like you have to line it up. This green meter will be going back and forth, and you have to like 1, 2, 3, and
some
then
Undertale stuff.
Yeah, so that'll eliminate the enemy. But yeah, I am very interested in this game. I'm very intrigued. The only concern so far was the story. There was just a lot of downtime sometimes in between moments where I wasn't fully gripped about what was going on, Just a lot of reading, pretty slow paced.
Is there any customization to your wrestler? Do you get to choose anything, or is it just kind of like, this is your character, these are the moves you're going to learn as you level up or whatever?
I didn't get into full customization, but you have a ton of gear slots.
Okay.
Ton of gear. When you level up, you're earning other special moves. There is a roster of characters, so I don't know how much variation that'll bring, but I got like 3 different party members. I had a healer in there. I had my DPS, and then I had my like AoE kind of character. So like classic stuff.
Cool.
Tag team moves are really cool because you need to like use one character to set it up. So be like, okay, one character, like get ready for the tag team move. Then the other character is like, all right, let's do a tag team move. And it'll be some big, blast or some crazy stuff. But
sick.
Yeah, just super intrigued by it. It felt pretty easy so far, I don't know how.
Early game, probably.
Early game, yeah. So just like how much the combat will evolve and keep me engaged, and just kind of the story, because it is very story focused. Like there's a lot of characters, a lot of dialogue. I was playing as 2 different sets of characters sometimes. Like I would swap to somebody completely different on the other side of the map. So it's like pretty ambitious with its storytelling, but how much of that will, make me want to keep going and stuff.
Definitely.
Like, am I just going to be skipping it? There was one part when I was like, because it's a preview build too, there was one part where I'm like, okay, let's, you guys are kind of dragging this conversation on a little bit. But
cool, man. Sounds really fun.
Yeah.
I want to play it.
Good graphics, good combat so far. Oh, even the basic attacks keep you engaged, because it'll be like, if you hit them sometimes, they'll bounce off the ropes, and you have to like, press one of the face buttons like just in time to do some extra damage.
Mario RPG stuff.
Yeah, totally.
Cool. Yeah, it sounds awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I can't wait to play this.
Yeah, if you love pro wrestling, like absolutely be on the lookout for WrestleQuest, bare minimum.
I think it's just a really weird and unique premise, I guess.
Absolutely.
wrestling turn-based RPG. Like,
Yeah.
cool, dude.
Yeah.
Sounds fun, man.
Yeah, and it just like really combines those elements in a really cool, unique way. Like the combat felt like a wrestling match. I
Yeah,
was like, this
that's
is
sick. That's
really
important.
cool.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, and it's just really fun to look at, and the good music in there, blood.
Nice.
So yeah,
Yeah, sounds sick. All right, the next game I've been playing is Kingdom Hearts, the original Kingdom Hearts 1. I've been revisiting. I have a reason to revisit it, so fear not. There is not just me doing this and neglecting other things. But
it's blowing up on Twitter right now.
people are playing
Brad
Kingdom
started
Hearts?
this like a couple weeks ago, right? A month ago.
It was
It's been in the
tweet.
plans for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was my tweet that set it off. The cloud and stare down.
Now all of a sudden I'm just like seeing everyone playing Kingdom Hearts. I'm like, this is
weird,
awesome,
dude. It is weird.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, hell yeah.
I saw like Min-Max show, just like
Yeah.
vibing out, dude.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts.
But yeah, it's been really fun because this is the final mix version of the game, which was a Japan only kind of thing. But so I remember the PS2 one still a lot, but like even the PS2 one we had was different than the Japanese one. We had more content than they got. So it's been really fun revisiting it, and of course it's a very clean remaster, dude. 60 FPS. I think it's 1080p. It's a PS4 game, but it's very clean. Definitely feels the oldest in terms of gameplay.
Yeah.
Like it feels like an old PS2 game. It's
That
like
platforming.
pretty stiff in some ways. It definitely took me a little bit to get used to, because especially like as you go through the series, it gets just smoother and just feels better. But it's like this is the first one, so it's like a little rough around the edges in some ways, but it's really cool, dude. Just visiting all the worlds, the Disney worlds, I think are pretty well done still. Like they're all pretty like small. I
Yeah.
think some of them, especially like some of the areas, you go, they're like zones you go through, and they're all pretty small. Especially like when we get to Kingdom Hearts 3, where you're just like. Pirates of the Caribbean is just Assassin's Creed 4 now. Like you have a whole ocean you can sail, kind of thing. Like man, Toy Story World's like humongous, dude. And these are just like little rooms, stuff like that. It's very charming, but it's really cool. Like Sora, Donald, Goofy, dude, still the goats, man. Teaming up with them, starting from Sora's humble beginnings, and like Donald doesn't really like Sora that much at the beginning. And they don't like each other that much at the beginning.
Yeah.
Goofy, of course, is like the one bringing together all that really good stuff. Super fun going through it. And it's, even to this day, the idea of this game of just like what the hell this game is so weird.
It's insane.
And even in the age that we live in now, where everything's a crossover.
Yeah.
And there's like people and everything. Like Fortnite exists, Smash exists.
Yeah.
Obviously, Smash existed for this game, but all that stuff. Going in there, just fighting in the Coliseum, like with Hercules and stuff, then Cloud comes out. It is just like the weirdest crossover I feel like I've ever seen. Like Disney and Final Fantasy characters crossing over is so insane.
Yeah.
And
Like Cloud walking out, dude. It's like, what is happening right now?
Yeah. And like the story for this game is much more. Obviously, Kingdom Hearts is very. The story is, as it goes on, is very. There's a lot to it. Very
Shout out to Billy Zane, bro.
Billy Zane is, yes, Billy Zane is
Zaniacs.
the villain in this game. He is Ansem. But the story is very much like smaller. And you could definitely tell, like, if people are like, oh, I don't know what's going on. It's like, you can figure out what's going on in this game. Yeah. Because they got, like, it's pretty simple. Stuff does not get crazy. There's no
Dark and
nobodies.
light.
There's it's dark and light. There's no nobodies or anything like that. There's just the Heartless. There's no Dream Eaters. It's very simple. There's no Organization 13.
No
really
Castle
yet.
Oblivion shit.
Not there yet.
Yeah.
But there is it's cool stuff like, so in this playthrough, I've done all the bosses, like all the super bosses and all that. I got the ultimate weapons for everybody. I did like everything on this run.
Jeez.
So I fought Sephiroth. I fought like the Phantom. And
As hard as you remember, Sephiroth?
yeah. So this time I just played on beginner because I was like,
oh. Unorthodox, Brad
let me
Ellis.
explain why.
Brad Ellis
Let
is
me
a
explain
proud
why.
mode master
Let me
over
explain
here.
why.
Yeah.
On PS3, I got the platinum for this game.
Yeah,
and you have
of
to beat it
course.
on every difficulty.
Yeah.
Pretty much. This time, I was like, oh, let's do it again.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let's play on beginner and do everything. Then I'll have to do the proud mode and all that stuff after. Because there's like stuff where you like have to beat the game in a certain amount of time. You can't change your equipment and stuff like that.
Got it.
And for this, for the purpose of just seeing everything and not bashing my head against a rock on
Yeah.
some of these villains or bosses later on down the line. I don't have to grind to 99 necessarily to take them out.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So it's been a very casual, chill-ass experience.
Nice.
But it's been very nice. I've just been relaxing, having a good time.
You gonna Chain of Memories that shit next?
I don't know. I would like to beat them all again before 4 comes out, which is like I got like probably a year and a half.
Yeah.
I don't think that game's coming out until 2025, so
Right,
I got a ways to go, or plenty of time.
Yeah.
Zach wrote in, both the Wojnars actually wrote in. Zach first said, I don't have a question, just a shout out to fighting Sephiroth in Kingdom Hearts, with bonus points to the final mix/HD versions that have an extra cutscene with Cloud fighting him afterwards too. Too bad the storyline wasn't continued in Kingdom Hearts 3. I don't think that'll be continued in Kingdom Hearts 4 also. I don't think that thing's going to end until part 3 of Final Fantasy 7 Remake's done. I feel like they're just going to leave that alone probably for a little bit. Now that 7 Remake is a thing. I feel like we won't... I don't think they're going to continue that whole thing, because that goes into 2 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But for now...
I mean, Clive's going to be in Kingdom Hearts 4.
Maybe. I would love to see Clive in there. I would love to see Clive. That'd be awesome.
I was surprised we got a maybe there, Brad.
Maybe. I mean, who knows? I have no idea who's going to be in...
Right.
Besides maybe Yozora, and it's like... That's like my only... I'm like, yeah, you're going to be in the game, kind of thing like that. Who knows what Final Fantasy characters...
You mean Noctis?
No, I mean Yozora.
Noctis.
No.
Noctis is nobody.
Yozora is
Noctis is
on
nobody.
A higher tier than Noctis nowadays. Nomura abandoned Noctis after they took 15 from him. So he literally made them again 2.0. They're like the same thing, just a higher tier now. He's got a gun now also.
So sick.
Jason Wojnarz asked what difficulty I was playing on. I'm all for starting on each one on Proud. Yeah, it just depends. I've played them on all.
Yeah.
I've done the Prouds. I've done
it all.
the criticals.
He's done it all.
The criticals are brutally difficult, dude. Some of these bosses are insane in these games.
Dude, Yozora, I had no hope. I never beat Yozora. Because I wasn't 99.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no way.
It's like you're not even playing the hardest difficulty.
I know.
Some of the optional bosses in Kingdom Hearts are insanely tough.
Insane.
They are surprisingly... For a game with like Disney characters and stuff like that, you're just like, a kid's game.
Yeah.
You're playing the hardest difficulty, they will beat you down.
Yeah. Fucking, I still have flashbacks to Ursula, dude. Oh my God. Kicked my ass.
Yeah.
Tons of times.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting.
Swimming behind the neck, dude.
Yeah.
Just like nape of the neck, some
I
Attack on
definitely
Titan
noticed
shit.
that a lot more too. Is like some bosses having unique mechanics.
Yeah.
Especially the optional bosses, like the Phantom when you fight at like the London or the London Tower, the Big Ben, whatever you want to call it, the official name for it, I don't care. You fight a Phantom and he has certain phases where you can only damage him with certain spells. So you gotta like switch back and forth. You can't just mash melee buttons to kill him. So just stuff like that. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's 2002 game.
Yeah.
2002, I think here maybe, or 3. I can't remember. But yeah, sick game. Really easy or convenient to catch up on all these games if you're curious. You can get like the all-in-one package that has everything in it for like $30, $40.
So crazy. Cheaper than Exoprimal.
Yeah. For like 200 hours of gameplay or more.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So if you want to get caught up, they've made it pretty easy. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts 1, still cool.
Is 2 or Birth by Sleep your favorite?
2 is probably my favorite.
2, yes.
1, 2, and 3 are my favorites.
Yeah.
Then probably Birth by Sleep.
Got it. Chain of Memories, dude. Always my favorite story.
I think the story's cool.
Such a sick story.
I just don't like the cards.
Yeah.
That's it.
I get that.
All right, it's time for Sort It Out! This segment, just something that's bothering us. Hubert already knows what
you
yours
already
is going to be.
fucking know.
So this is just...
You already know.
This segment, we just talk about something that's annoying us. So
Just-
in the gaming industry, it could
yeah.
be a company, game, whatever.
Yeah.
Hubert, go ahead.
Witcher 3, still fucked. Had a patch the other day, like yesterday. Tested it live on stream. I noticed it. Even, as I say, I am not the only one with this issue. I checked, I Google this shit all the time, like PS5, blurry faces and Witcher. There's like this thread where it's just like, here's the problem, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, patch 4.01, problem still here. Update, patch 4.02, problem still here. Patch 4.0, the problem, just like, I am not the only one facing this issue. And
Is it only on PS5 that it's happening?
that is the bulk of it, for sure. I have not, I saw it on PC, but I guess you could turn off like FreeSync or something to fix
Sure,
it.
because you have more options.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And like,
The thing is like I was like going back and watching you, and like you kept saying there it is.
Yep.
I'm like,
Yep.
with the stream, I just
Yeah, you
could
can't see it on
not
stream, yeah.
see it whatsoever.
Yeah.
I told him to record it,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, I would like to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I'm gonna record it.
I theorize
Dawn enhance this.
that it may not be a depth of field thing, that it may just be like dynamic resolution.
someone on Twitter gave a really good explanation for it where
Yeah.
they said the game cannot load something fast enough. So it's like the dialogue or something. So they're like it like loses some visual things to like load
So if
the
you just
dialogue.
let it sit there, it won't happen. But if you keep talking,
But
it will.
yeah, that doesn't make sense too, because usually I just let him sit there.
Oh, okay.
And it like goes in and out, and it's just.
That's weird.
It's such a small thing, but like as Morpheus says, dude, it's a splinter in my mind.
Right.
Where it's just like this little thing. It's like
been
The Witcher 3 is
ongoing for like since December.
7 months.
He is so focused on it. I made a clip because he
This
was
is
looking
hilarious.
at this blur thing that
Hilarious.
I could not see whatsoever. And meanwhile, right behind Geralt, there is just like a spoon lifting up over and over,
Yeah.
and then like a whole bowl of soup, and then a tankard of ale, and because they just
Sort
like,
it out.
Well, it's just because Geralt is like
Fuck.
in the scene where like the player model should be.
Yeah.
And so they called the player model, but they didn't call what they were doing.
That's funny. That's funny.
But Hubert didn't see any of it.
Yeah.
He was looking
Yeah.
at the blur
Yeah.
and didn't see this
That's
hilariously
super funny.
obvious thing happening right
That is
next to
super
it.
funny, dude.
And it's like, oh, just play on PC. And it's like, well, my PC's not good enough to run this shit like fully like maxed out, not like, or even like really, really high.
Your
PC
PC's
should-
stronger
Your
than your
PC should
PS5.
be able to run it
Yeah.
higher than the PS5.
Yeah, your PC's stronger than your PS5.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's The Witcher 3.
But at the same time, like, I
Maybe
already,
not the crazy ultra ray tracing,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
But like, I get it. You've invested. In
I'm
the
already,
place,
like,
you've
20,
invested on your save. You don't
30
want to switch
hours.
Yeah,
over.
yeah,
that
that's
makes
the
sense
thing.
to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
30
I get
hours
it.
in.
Yeah, it's like you
before
don't
the
want to
patch
restart.
hit that messed it
Yeah.
up, right?
Yeah.
Should have just played on Xbox Series. I don't fucking know, dude. I'm
might
just
have got
gonna
it there,
delete
too.
it.
Yeah, you're done. For
It really
now.
depressed
you're
me.
You're done for now.
I'm depressed.
Yeah, CD Projekt Red is on your naughty list. Right
They
now.
are in the doghouse. Yeah. See you in a year, Phantom Liberty.
Blood, do you got anything?
I probably do. But
It's okay. We can come back. Or we can move on. Don't sweat it, dude.
I'm
Want you to say
sweating.
anything? Oh, I know
We're
you're
all
sweating.
sweating.
Also, sort it out, dude. Resident Evil 4 Remake was how many dollars?
60?
How much is Exoprimal?
60?
Cool.
I mean, some multiplayer
I
games
mean,
are always
yeah, I
60.
don't know. I do.
That whole
I do worry
argument is
about
weird.
I know. It's a
comparing
weird
every
argument.
multiplayer game to a free-to-play game.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's weird.
It is weird. It's also weird that Exoprimal 60.
yeah. You know what? It's probably was going to be 60 was factions. That probably was going to be 60 with microtransactions.
Oh,
that's fucked up.
I mean, that's probably still
I mean, that's
gonna
just
be.
the way
Yeah.
things are now.
Yeah.
They're gonna, yeah.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah, because originally it was like, oh, it's gonna be part of Last of Us Part 2. Like,
Nope. Nope. See ya. Hey. That gives me a sorted out. You just reminded me of this. Are we getting another version of The Last of Us Part 2? This is a rumor.
Yeah.
Please. Sony, please calm down.
yeah,
Please
No,
calm down.
Naughty Dog particularly.
Naughty Dog
Yeah,
particular.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I know The Last of Us is humongous.
yeah,
I get it. It makes
Yeah.
sense.
Nope.
Financially, on paper, it makes sense because it's going to make them a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Because the show, humongous, also blew up.
yeah.
Port The Last of Us Part 2 to PC first and do a good
Yeah,
job.
maybe
on that.
maybe when they announce it, it'll all be
Maybe.
encompassing.
Because
whatever.
they're not going to do new content. I cannot see that happening for this game.
Yeah.
They already are on Part 3, so
yeah,
there's no way.
that Gustavo quote though,
What'd he say?
he said something about like you can do new stuff. Yeah, like my character has a bigger role this time.
Oh.
People think it's just, don't get all crazy. People just so far, we think it's literally you just like can walk up to him and have him play different songs.
Oh, okay. That's
all.
cool.
That, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But,
All right. But still, I'm cautious. Like,
yeah.
stop. Like, The Last of Us Part 1 it was good, but it's like, dude, just stop.
Work on that factions.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. Maybe when I see it, I'll be like, oh, cool. I don't know. The champ wrote in and said, sort it out. All you game companies that charge $20+ for one fucking skin, sort your shit out.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, yeah.
I guess from the company's
Same.
point of view, it's a keep it up since people are buying them.
God,
I love the boys. I saw Call of Duty had skins for the boys.
that is insane.
I was overjoyed. I reinstalled Call of Duty, went to the store to buy them. It's over $20 per skin. That's $60 for 3 skins. Yes, you get kill animations and little charms and stickers, but let's keep it real. Those are things you are using to just increase the price. Remember when people complained about MK11 skin packs? 3 skins for $7. Or SF5, 1 skin for $5. Different times. Now it's $20.
Yeah.
And these are the these are for the FPS games. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's insane.
But this is the norm. Kids of today who are playing these games will think it's normal, and that's how gaming is. I'll just use the $60 to buy another game.
yeah.
Yeah.
That is wild.
It's a lot of money, and it is a first-person game, which is always funny.
Yeah. It's more than Luke Skywalker in Fortnite, dude.
I mean,
Like-
there's no hope. I already think about with sports games how much they just extra stuff there is.
Oh, yeah.
FIFA and like how much people spend on this. Like, I give up, dude. I
give
just
up.
gave
I
up.
try to
I'm done.
disengage.
Yeah, I'm done.
I try my
It's
damnedest
over.
to disengage with any extra monetary.
My days of being pissed at Assassin's Creed for having extra armor sets.
Never buy that shit ever.
I never did.
Nope.
But
Same.
it's just like, I'm done.
The most I will do is a seasonal battle pass. That is it.
Yep.
And, well, Fortnite.
Sometimes they get you. It's fine.
They get
Like,
me,
it's your money. You can spend it on what you want.
How am I not buying a Orochimaru? Come on.
Yeah, I bought Orochimaru. Yeah. All right, this is from our Switch. I feel like this is a shot at me specifically.
Shots.
Sort it out. People who dump on controllers. Everyone talks about how great mouse and keyboards are to use. Splatoon players rave about how great motion controls are. Fighting game players will clamor for the arcade sticks over controllers. To hell with all of them. Controllers have been used for gaming for over 40 years now. They are reliable, and settings can take away from any speed discrepancies away. And if anyone has a problem with controller play, you are more than welcome to test that against me in Splatoon. If you have the guts to face me on my Pro Controller, sort it out. Face me in my Splatana. I mean, controllers are good. You can get everything done with a controller, no doubt. But I'm using a mouse and keyboard if it's better. Sorry.
You love it.
Sorry. For a shooter, yes.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, like Call of Duty, dude, is made for controller. 100%
Yeah,
it's made for
100%,
controller.
100%.
That's what it's made for. It's
Yeah.
probably you are probably better if you're using a controller on that game.
Yeah. Get some of that out of the way.
But I don't get that movement I want.
Yeah.
I feel sluggish in FPS. Like a fast game, dude, like that, where
Yeah.
I'm aiming, dude? No way. No freaking way. You want me to play an RTS with a controller, dude?
Yeah, I think there's two locks where nothing will change. I think controllers, no matter what, better for racing games. I think no matter what, mouse and keyboard, better for RTS. Everything else, preference. But I think those two are like lockdown.
Well, then you get
And
crazy.
fighting games too, that's controller.
Well, then you get crazy because a lot of people for fighting games that are into fighting games a lot use sticks. They're like
Yeah,
fighting
of course.
games.
Yeah.
But
And
not mouse
racing,
keyboard,
they
yeah.
use wheels also.
Yeah, wheels too.
'Cause
Okay.
the controller is
Yeah.
good because it's so accessible for everyone. It's just
Yeah.
like, you buy your system, you get the controller. It's like everyone has a controller. Most games play on controller. It's just great for... The controller is great because it can do so many things so well.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, if I'm playing Mario Brothers, I'm using a controller.
Yeah.
No doubt. I'm not using a mouse and keyboard like some psychopath.
Mouse and keyboard sometimes makes me less immersed because, like,
You just don't like playing on your computer.
it's just like,
Well, you don't act like a ragdoll.
well, then I have to like really just like, make my.
Adjust your sensitivity.
I do, but it still just like makes me like, I don't know. I'm like less immersed. It's weird.
You just don't like playing on your computer though anymore either.
Yeah, it's
You're just a couch Andy now, which
I
is
know,
fine.
yeah.
That's just where you're at in
Yeah.
your arc right now. You're on the couch arc.
gone are the Quake and Counter
Yeah,
Strike
you used to
1.6
be
days.
PC elitist.
Yeah, elitist. Yeah,
Definitely. But
big
now you're
time.
saying- Bloody, you like using controllers mostly for everything, right? You don't like mouse and keyboard, right?
Yeah, I'm not comfortable with everything mouse and keyboard. It's funny because I'll probably cut it now since we're talking about it so much, but it's like because somebody like put in a correction is like blood does not avoid mouse and keyboard at all costs because it's true. Like it's kind of what Huber was saying. It's like I kind of go with like more like what the game is designed for in a way, like Bookwalker when I did that demo.
Yeah.
It's like I started off with the controller for a little bit and then it's like, yeah, this is a mouse and keyboard game. Especially like
for
once
sure.
you get to like the isometric parts, it's like, oh, okay, pointing and clicking and pixel hunting kind of thing. It's like, yeah, I need a mouse for this. But I will, my preference is going to be controller first, especially for like 3D action and adventure like a Mario 64 or Assassin's Creed or something like that.
Jumping
It's like,
up and there.
yeah, like I want the analog control.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's just I'm fine with WASD, but then like when you get over doing this thing where you're like
Oh, you're
stretching
hitting, like,
your
control and
fingers to
stuff?
like hit control or whatever, and then like
Yeah.
trying to get over to the right hotkeys and stuff. I mean, like hotkeys aren't too bad for like things that have like a lot of cooldowns, but it's just like a lot of that stuff and like quick in the moment actiony stuff. It's like, all right, it's a bit too much. Plus, I've just done too many spreadsheets and stuff, and like that crap just wrecks my hands so fast.
And I
Clicking
like
a
Grip
lot.
it hard or something?
Huh?
Do you grip really hard on your mouse or something? Maybe.
No, it's just. Yeah, it just just like a lot of clicking and stuff.
two other small factors too. One, this is a me thing. I like pulling a trigger rather than pushing.
Sure. I can get that.
And rumble. Gotta have that rumble,
Yeah.
dude. Rumble fucking
you like the
immerses
rumble.
me.
Rumble's really
God,
good.
you
Yeah.
like the rumble.
Yep.
Okay.
Big
Makes sense.
immersion.
I wonder. They probably make rumble mouses, I assume.
I wonder.
They definitely
rumble
do.
keyboard
Yeah.
They
and
absolutely
I just
do.
don't see it, but I'm sure
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah.
Should look into that.
I mean, if you want to get the most crazy PC, you can just probably get like a
mean-
rumble vest and like
Yeah.
a,
They have
Yeah.
some of the mice they have out there for gaming are
Oh
just
my God,
out of
they're insane.
control.
They're insane.
I'm like, I definitely don't want to screw with that
Yeah.
stuff. Keep it simple with the mouse.
2 games no matter what PC coming up. Baldur's Gate 3. Counter-Strike 2. I'll be there.
Counter-Strike 2 would be so...
PC, baby.
I don't think you would stand a chance, probably.
Ugh.
I don't even know what that would be like.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Huh. Baldur's Gate, I'm sure it'll be fine on controller. I'm sure they,
Yeah.
definitely nailed it.
Yeah, I mean, that's
pretty
where
much.
Just with all
that's where
those
this whole
damn,
wave of
like,
corrections came in.
menus
Because
and
people were like,
stuff.
no, Baldur's
Yeah.
Gate PC had like excellent controller support.
Yeah.
So
Because like one of the big things
or
with
Divinity.
one of the big things with Diablo 4 is it's so good with controller. I play on PlayStation. It's
I use
incredible
controller for that.
Yeah.
But like sometimes just like the little buffs over your hotbar, it's like I just want to like cycle over and see what it says.
It's always better.
You know? It's
yeah,
like
mouse is good
you
for that
lose
stuff.
a little bit
and
of that.
like moving loot over is way like
Yeah.
I prefer it greatly.
Yeah. Well, that's
Obviously-
why. But that's the thing. Now that's the other thing I actually do quite a bit. It depends on the game, but like there are games where like I'm just using the best of both worlds on PC.
Sure.
It's like I'm using controller for all this stuff, and then it's like, oh, menu. It's like,
Yeah.
mouse. Okay.
PC platform.
That is nice. Play both.
Superior platform. But yeah, play it how you want to play it, obviously. But I'm using that mouse keyboard if it's better.
Yeah, you are.
Any day of the week.
Remnant 2.
Yeah. Remnant 2. Oh, yeah. Okay, keep it up. Exact opposite. Something that we're like, hell yeah. Hell yes. I don't know what to really say, I guess, but keep it up. Larian Studios. Like, Baldur's Gate looks pretty sick. Baldur's Gate 3 is looking really good. I played the early access a while ago, like years ago. Solid then. Can't wait to see what it's like
Oh my
when it's
God, yeah.
officially released.
Right.
It's going to be massive.
Yeah. Hopefully there's no insane technical issues.
Oh, yeah, hopefully.
Long early access road should
I hope
help
that, yeah,
that.
I hope that helps a lot.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
Yeah.
you guys got anything you're happy with?
I mean, just from the last week, just like, yeah, these companies like Limited Run and Digital Eclipse.
Oh, putting out those
Just,
games.
Yeah, doing these. Yeah,
Tomba.
doing these things.
Tomba.
Going to things that like. This is not a commercially viable franchise to invest in, but like obviously they figured out a way to get their money from it and bring these things back. So it's really cool to see those things happening and to see things like Karateka. Like there are people like they're surprised that none of us had heard of Karateka, and I was like, I'm sorry, it just I don't know. The Apple IIe was not on my radar,
Dude, I didn't
other
have a-
than like what we could play at school.
I didn't have
you
a
know?
PC till I was like 17 or 18.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to play like any of that stuff. I'm sorry.
But it's wild though that I feel like there's a lot of games from like maybe the NES or Sega or whatever where like even if I hadn't played them, like I knew about them. It's wild that like that game, it's like the conversation just wasn't there.
Yeah.
And, maybe it's because PC gaming was just so niche and so much for like totally rich people.
I
at the
only knew
time or
about
what.
PC stuff from friends, like Mike and some of our other friends. Those are the only people I knew about it.
Yeah.
So
Soldier
I didn't
of
have
Fortune.
one. Soldier of Fortune.
But even like Ultima, right?
Yeah.
Or Wizardry, like those are
Missed all that.
series I know about. I haven't dug into them, but I know about them. So it's just interesting that one's like, nope, never heard of it until this happened.
Quick bonus, keep it up for me. Dredge, cool game.
Dredge.
Really
Oh,
cool
yeah.
game, small game, just really fun. I really liked it.
Won
Just a
some- I
weird
think it was nominated for
fishing
some stuff.
boat game. It's a cool game.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Y'all on the other side have sorted out the Dave the Diver everyone thinks it's an indie game, but it's not.
Oh yeah, classic, dude.
It's not.
I mean, who's like
The company
publishing
is
and
part
owning-
of Nexon.
Yeah, so which is humongous company.
Gigantic Korean company.
Gigantic.
Got it.
Triple I.
Got it. Dredge, dude. Like indie.
Yeah,
Right,
I don't.
right?
Salt. I forgot what they're called.
Yeah.
Salt box or something.
Yeah.
It just feels like just a completely useless tag.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
In so many
I know what it is.
cases,
We got
yeah.
the game
Yeah.
industry needs to adopt a new term for this kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Alexander Rozier now wrote in for one. Keep it up. I just finished Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Heck yeah.
I was expecting just a good tactical strategy game from creators of XCOM, but I've quickly got attached to its cast of characters and became deeply invested in the narrative. The hub is also such a cozy place to inhabit and a great environment to explore. I rarely enjoy simultaneously gameplay and story so much, but Marvel's Midnight Suns is a welcome exception. Keep it up for Axis Games. Very nice. Very feel
Yeah,
good.
unfortunately, they've had some trouble since that didn't do as well.
Yes,
but,
unfortunately.
But yeah, it's
A really good game.
Yeah, it is a hard game to explain. It's been a few months now since I played it.
Same.
But like it's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
I definitely wish I had put more time into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very cool, very different kind of
Yeah,
thing.
keep it up. All right. We got some shout outs this episode, as we do on every episode on this podcast, on the Easy Allies podcast, on all of our podcasts pretty much. We give shout outs to some of our most generous patrons on the Platinum Producer tier. This episode, we got Jabbawabs, Elthanas, and Greg the Dark Knight Kettering. Shout out. Thank you for supporting us as always.
Shout out.
We appreciate it. All right, Bloodworth. Viewfinder, you did a review for this. The
Yeah,
review
yeah.
is out. If you want to check out Bloodworth's review,
Yeah.
please watch that.
Please watch that. Yeah, heck yeah.
Let's talk about Blood.
Yeah, it's funny because it's like, you know how you have these times when you're like working on a review and you're trying to figure out a score or whatever, and like you're like, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy
Yes.
or something. And then like before my review goes up, it's like it's bringing home awards from Bit Summit in Japan. It's like, okay, I'm not too crazy.
Yeah. Sometimes you get that doubt with reviews.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know.
I was like, should I give a remake for it?
That's why I always ask Blood. I always ask Bloodworth. I'm like, Blood, what do you think? How does the script reading to you?
Yeah, but yeah, it's a really cool concept. And it's like it's one of the things where like just conceptually, it's like you kind of like the first time you see it, it's like whoa, like Alice in Wonderland, kind of like going down the rabbit hole.
Absolutely.
Because
Do you think I would get stuck, Bloodworth?
here's the thing. This may be the most contentious thing about this game, is that like a lot of puzzle game fans are like, it's too easy. It's like, oh, baby's first puzzle game or whatever kind of.
Isla flexing.
I don't know. I think I might still dig it, but it's not like Talus Principle levels of
She'll
like
crush it,
crazy
I mean.
long, crazy hard. It's very smooth to get through, and like, and one of the things I even said in the script is like the times that I did get stumped, when I finally figured out the solution, I was like, oh yeah, I'm stupid. I'm just a complete idiot that I didn't just put two and two together and do that and wasted like 15 minutes doing this other thing.
Bloodworth, I guess that too easy criticism, it reminds me of Tears of the Kingdom or something like that. The temples or something like that. For me, they're pretty damn easy compared to the other ones because you have so much freedom you could do, but that's just the cost of having that much freedom.
Right.
And it seems like Viewfinder, you got a lot of cool stuff you could do. Is that kind of the case, do you think?
Sort of. Yeah, so we haven't even talked about the basic concept. The basic concept, like the core mechanic of blowing your mind, is you like take like a photograph and then you put it in front of you and you just kind of place it, and then all of a sudden like that is now 3D spaced. So whatever was there before is gone, and now you've taken a photo that was of a hallway or of another room, you put it here, and now you can walk into that room, go around the corner,
Really
see around
cool
what's on the
concept.
backside. You take a walkway, put it over here, use it as a bridge, and then they do a lot of other fun little things with like different art styles and stuff. So like you take a painting, and you put the painting down, and now you can walk into the painting. You take this like screenshot, and you walk into the screenshot, and you go through this little dungeon and stuff. And it's like, so it's a really, really cool idea. And then like you like flip things upside down or like put things above you and like have things fall out of the sky.
Portal style.
Yeah. This Portal is definitely like, there's definitely some similarities to Portal. But then as you get into it, and I didn't show a lot of this in the review because obviously you want to figure it all out.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of like different little ways to play with that, different little mechanics of like things that you have to sort of like, okay, put two and two together. And so that's why I think it's like, I'm not too worried about the quote unquote difficulty, because it does such a good job of just like keep giving you, here's another thing, and like, okay, figure out how this works. And then we're going to iterate on it, make it a little harder here and there. And then, okay, now here's something else. Now combine that with the other thing that you just learned and see how all of these different pieces come together.
Okay.
And then the final level, I don't want to like spoil too much, obviously, but like it is sort of like, okay, take all the tools that you put together and then like think about like the most efficient ways that you
Sick.
can use them.
Love that. I love when games do that.
Yeah.
Here's everything. You must use everything you've learned up to this point to get past this.
Yeah.
Ishin Sword
Ishin
Saint.
Sword Saint. Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
And then there is a story, and it's like you're searching this like simulation that these researchers made way back when or whatever, because you know the like world has been devastated from climate change, and there's like articles that maybe they figured it out and they've got the answer in the simulation. So that's why you're in this world doing all this stuff. But it just, to me, it just didn't connect very well.
Sure.
And it's like partly because the game is so cute and so cozy and stuff like that. And like even like anywhere, I said this in the script too, but it's like anywhere you go, there's like places you just sit down and take in the view,
You love to do that stuff.
Yeah, Life is Strange. Does it play Music Bud when you do that?
Not new music, but there are like a lot of the story is optional too, with the different characters from the past. So like you can play these record players, you can pick up journals and stuff. So you could like play a record player, sit down and just like look at the world for a bit while you're listening to this little bit of backstory.
Very nice.
So it is nice that like a lot of that is optional, but it's just like one of those things that it didn't connect very well. There is like a cute little cat that's like the AI record keeper.
Someone said here that it'd be the final boss or something. The cat.
Oh yeah.
I think it was Isla maybe.
Yeah.
So
Final boss.
So he's cool. Yeah, his name is Kate. But yeah, it's a cool little game. It's not super long either, which I think is one of the other sort of complaints that people have. Is it's like it's kind of a quickie. Like I spent a good like 6+ hours in it, but I was also like going back and doing things like multiple times and doing collectibles and stuff like that.
Before you go further, Neo JD wrote in, Viewfinder, I loved the demo. Gave me the same feelings that Super Limited did. Superliminal.
Yeah.
My questions are, how long did it take you to get through? How long did it take you to finish it? Do you think it kept you engaged the whole way through? Is it worth 25 in your opinion? So you kind of touched on how much you played it, 6 hours about so far.
Yeah.
Is there more to do though?
I would like, yeah. The main thing is like the collectibles and the trophies, which some of the trophies are some of these fun things where it's like, okay, play with these mechanics.
Oh yeah.
It's like
cool.
and mess around with stuff. But I think that it's like, and I think this may be one of the reasons too that people maybe potentially find it easy is because there's some similarities to Tears of the Kingdom puzzles in that it's like there is a solution, but the way that you arrive at that solution isn't like this binary like right answer, wrong answer. It's like, okay, you can take any part of this level, snap a photo of it, and then make that a bridge. But your bridge might not necessarily be in the right place.
But you can make
or
it
you
work.
might accidentally like destroy the thing that you need to get to. So like, okay, try again, and like and it's sort of like, it's your own solution, and sometimes your own solution you might find a shortcut to just bypass a whole bunch of steps. Like I remember there's one level where it's like, because you have, when you get the camera, you have like a limited number of film stock. And so like I had like 5 shots in my camera and I'm like, I'm just going to do this. And I'm like, what did I need all 5 of those shots for? I just used one shot and like got to the end.
Big
like,
brain blood.
So I don't know.
Check
like,
out the big brain.
did I bypass the intended solution for that puzzle? I don't know. What I did worked. So cool.
Reptile Scorpio wrote in, I love the Viewfinder demo, but couldn't help but think how playing it in VR would be even more mind-blowing, possibly to the point where it would be uncomfortable for the brain to move through those mind-bending changes. Could you see experiences like this one day doing damage to you in real life by breaking the rules of reality? I don't know about that, but
I don't know about that. I could see.
It might be too
I could see
intense
some
in
motion
VR.
sickness for certain things.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a fair concern.
Because, like, for instance, like one thing that you could do is like you can take a photo of something and then like jump off the edge and like catch yourself, and just like that falling would probably be like really, like whoa,
Really intense. Yeah.
like the roller coaster kind of moment.
Cool. Sounds awesome. I want to play it.
Yeah.
Sounds short, easy to get, or pretty chill to get through. Sounds like it has a nice vibe. So
Yeah.
I definitely want to check it out.
Yeah, I
haven't
think
played
a lot of people will probably get through it in a night or two. Yeah.
I haven't played a strictly puzzle game in a while, so be a good time to revisit one. All right. Huber.
Yo.
Oxenfree 2.
Yeah.
You love Oxenfree.
Love it.
Sequel time.
Love it. I
Tell us
also
about
love After Party. I forgot that was them.
Oh, that was them, right?
It's a great game.
Yeah.
Oxenfree 2 review is coming shortly. I'm almost done with writing. And this is very much a sequel. Play the first one if you want to play this, like straight up.
Yeah.
You have to. You play as new characters. It's Riley. Basic premise is you're coming to this like coastal island town. You're returning home. You've been gone for a long time, and you're going there to set up radio transmitters to like study weather and birds and whatnot. And then you very quickly are joined by Jacob, and the vast majority of the game is you two, Riley and Jacob. So there's two of you. Kind of like my review, this is a hard game to talk about because it is literally just walking and talking for virtually the entire thing, and like story beats that I don't obviously want to spoil.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why I had a hard time with the writing a review for that don't Harmony.
Yeah.
That was like when I did Grease. I was like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Be a challenge.
You return home. You can see the location of the first game from where you are. So it's like right over
That's
the
sick.
little
I
boat
like
ride
that.
away. Yeah, you see it. This is a supernatural story, like the first game. There's some supernatural twists, but the strength of it for, your mileage is going to vary because it's like, how invested are you going to be in Riley and Jacob? The whole game as you're walking and talking, you're talking about, your Life is Strange style stuff, your life, like your regrets, your hopes, even random shit like, what's your favorite animal, blah, blah, from like mundane to very serious, hard-hitting conversations. And it does it really well because just like the first game, you have 3 dialogue choices for basically every time your character is about to speak, Like there's some obviously forced dialogue that they say, but a lot of the time it's like you have the option to shape the conversation in any way through those 3 choices. And I think that stuff plays really well, really seamless. The voice acting is top tier.
Super important for a game like
Really
this.
important.
Yeah.
When you go to a new location, it's really awesome. Like, because it's like this big open map, it's not massive or anything, but it's a big open map. And when you travel to a new one, there's a loading screen. But if you're mid-conversation, there'll be a speech bubble there saying like, okay, when you load the next zone, this conversation is still going to be going.
Okay.
So you don't skip, you're not going to miss out.
It.
There were some times though when I did miss some dialogue as I was like maybe walking too far and the characters like started talking about something else. So it still happened a little bit, but for the most part, they've done a really nice job of like making it so it's just seamless and you don't lose any of that.
Yeah.
My criticism though is sometimes, which is going to lead into a bigger conversation, Blood, because like you were talking about with the Viewfinder just now. There were just some times when the story or conversations would drag on. And I feel like that's kind of becoming a problem with just like a lot of games out now. As games are getting bigger, their stories are getting bigger too. And that's not always a positive.
No.
I feel like games are like sometimes stretching out a narrative or just adding in more and more and more narrative that like isn't necessarily a good thing.
Yeah, I think a lot it's because they don't want their game to be super short.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of players, they're like, how long's the game?
Yeah.
Because they judge that if it's worth the money,
Yeah.
So-and-so hours equals so-and-so dollars to me, kind of thing like that.
That being said, the story is awesome, but there were moments where
like,
I would just be like, dude, Jacob, bro, I don't care. I do not care because, like, again, there's a lot of, like, the same tone throughout the game. So by, like, hour 5, hour 6, when Jacob is like, do you ever think about loss? And it's just like, bro, we've been having this conversation and been talking about this shit for hours. Like, yes, I've thought about loss. Like,
Yes.
So there were times when it was just like a little too much.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But again, the overall story is great. If you like the first one, awesome.
Sure.
Not really any puzzles, but it's like there are somewhat optional paths you can take to find some like collectibles and stuff.
So some incentive to kinda go off the beaten path.
And optional side conversations
Very
is kind
cool.
of the big thing.
Yeah.
You have your radio and your walkie-talkie. Those are your two mechanics. You can tune that radio. I found a baseball game, 10 out of 10. I was listening to that in there. And the radio, too, you can call people.
Codex.
Yeah, basically, you can call them, and that will open up, like, full-on side stuff. Like, really, really cool. And that stuff's very easily missable.
Yeah,
So
that's
there's
cool.
some really rewarding side stuff there. And, yeah, just overall, I really liked it. But there were a couple issues with just, I guess, the pace and just the story, where it's just like, it made me think about, it was just like making me think about games in general and like narrative.
Sure. Wrap it up a little.
Yeah, just how they're really like cramming so much narrative into so many games.
You love, more than anyone I know, you love like coming of age, kind of like teenager kind of thing. You love Life is Strange. It's been a little bit. Is this helping scratch a little itch for you or anything like that you're missing?
Yeah, for sure. Because, anytime you Google games like Life is Strange, Oxenfree, always there. The first one, always. If you like Life is Strange, you should play these games. Oxenfree is one of those games. The first one was cool because you had like a younger group. Like, Riley is a little older, not like, I'm 35, no offense to anyone out there. She's like in her 30s and, going through some more adult
Oh, interesting.
issues.
Okay, I didn't know that.
But it is still, they still touch on that coming of age stuff because, you talk about her past, a lot of that. And like, there are some things that she is going through that like, younger people go through too. So,
Sure.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Cool. Sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Sounds like if you like the first one, you should definitely check it out.
Yeah. And just really like the presentation is just so strong.
Higher budget this time, you feel like?
Yeah,
Definitely?
the map is beautiful. Just like the environments are really cool. They get a little samey because it's just like, a forest area,
of course.
forest and cave and like some water and stuff. But just really impressed with the presentation of like, you never really lose control. There's cutscenes and stuff, obviously, where it does take away control from you. But like, to be able to tell the story as you're just kind of like walking through and just picking those dialogue choices, it just feels really nice.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sounds very, very chill, I guess. Kind of. Maybe like chill vibe, heavy emotionally, though.
Yes.
Probably.
yeah. Oxenfree, it goes there.
Okay.
It goes there for sure.
Blood. This game, I don't really know anything about this game. Gimmick.
Yeah.
Tell me about this game. What the heck is this, Blood?
Yeah, because I didn't know anything about it really either. So this was, I think, Mr. Gimmick in Japan and then Gimmick in Scandinavia. And that's the
Okay.
thing. This was a NES game
Oh.
that was only released in those two regions.
This is that game.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And so they did like a remaster, or re-release essentially.
Keep
And-
it up, remasters.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
And
Whoa.
so it's got like a lot of the quality of life things with like save states and rewind and stuff like that. Rewind, I'll
Essential.
say right off the bat, like I just did rewind to like plow through this game because it is rough. Not rough in like the way it controls or anything, but
It's
it is a hard game.
NES.
Yeah. And so it's like, but it's like if but it's like one of those games where like it looks like a walk in the park. It looks like a Kirby game or something, like at first glance. But then it's like, no, we're gonna hit you with like that Mega Man Contra kind of difficulty.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Quick sidetrack here. I'm sorry. Are we getting more Bloodstained games? Or is that
There's nothing been talked about.
I assume there will be more.
They kept adding stuff to Bloodstained forever.
Probably because of the Kickstarter stuff.
Cool.
Which took forever, like a Shovel Knight situation.
Yeah.
I assume they will do something else, though.
Cool. Sorry.
Yeah.
Cool.
But so it's so they got some little extras in there, like you can look at the original box art and the original manual. You can actually flip through all the pages.
Love that blood.
Yeah. But
yes.
what's hilarious? The manual these are the original manuals. So there's a Japanese manual, and then there's like a manual in like, I don't know, like, is it Norwegian or Finnish? I don't know what language this is. And so I had to like look up game facts to actually find controls.
Game facts, dude. Classic.
So you're this little green blobby guy with like a yellow horn on his head. And the main thing that you do to attack is you kind of like charge up this star that you then throw. And so then there's this like physics to how the star bounces around. And so like you like jump and throw, and like you can even one of the things that's kind of crazy is that like you can even like ride on the star, and you can like ride on a bunch of enemies, like almost like Super Mario Brothers 2 style. And so it kind of like feels a little bit like that, like throwing like a turnip or whatever in Mario 2.
I love that. Oh, throwing the turnip.
Yeah.
That's good.
Digging it up.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's some other items that you pick up along the way. Not too many. Like there's usually like maybe a couple of things in a level. But so you start off with like little 2 nodes of health, and then there are these orange potions that will like expand your health. But like every level it like goes back down to 2. So you start with 2, and then you can get up to 4. There are pink potions that refill all your health. There are bombs, which are really good because it's almost like a guaranteed hit. It will hit no matter what. If you actually like connect with the thing, it'll actually do damage. And then there are like these fireball things that like have kind of like a straight arc and can hit multiple things in a row. But you've also got you've got to be on that line.
Right.
But the thing that is really tough and tricky with this game is like with a lot of hard games. It's hard because you're trying to avoid damage for the most part. This one is hard just to connect that star to that enemy. Not only will the angles be really tricky on like getting it into the right spot, but also they seem to like all have ways of just like saying, nah, I'm just gonna smash that star. And so like just trying to get them get to the right place. Like there is this boss like through the I think it's the second level or whatever. There's like a big pirate ship that you go through, and it feels a lot like going through like an airship in Mario Brothers 3.
Ooh.
And you get to the end, and there's this guy with this big cutlass, and I like started throwing stars at him, and he's like just nope, slash. And one of the things too that makes these guys so hard is, again, like a lot of like Mega Man Contra kind of things. You learn to like identify like the patterns of where guys are moving, and then just like attack them at the right time. The AI in this is like reading what you're doing.
They're reading your inputs?
They're
Oh,
counter your inputs. So there was one boss, and again, like talking about like the Kirby level cuteness versus the difficulty. It's like a chick that hatches from an egg. And I like was trying to attack this thing, and it would like jump over my star, dodge my star, do this, do that. And then it started like I just stopped to see what it would do. And it stopped as well.
Oh, no.
It was just waiting for me to attack.
That is mental damage for sure.
So yeah, so it's wild. But you know, again, using rewind very liberally, I was able to get through like lots of spike pits, lots of like very like precise like tiny 1-block jumps and stuff through there. But visually, like a lot of like cool things. Like I could see a lot of inspiration from different things like Kirby, like Mario, because this is a later Sunsoft game. There is one that specifically to me, although I think just for anyone in Japan would probably recognize it, 100% inspired by Nausica. Because like you go underground and like I don't know if you've seen Nausica, but like there's this part where you're like you go
I
under the.
Actually, watched it for the first time pretty recently.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
She goes under the toxic jungle and there's like these like the stems that are like degrading or whatever in like the sand. So like you see those same kind of like fossilized stems, and then these like pink flies start flying through the level, like the gadflies that are in Nausica.
That's funny.
But another thing that I think the AI thing is pretty interesting from a technical perspective. The other thing that it was really different to me for an NES game on a technical side is that there is like essentially what I would call enemy permanence. So like in like Ninja Gaiden, it always sucks because if you move off the screen, then the enemy respawns. Like
Mega Man 2.
Whereas with this, it's like, okay, if you move off the screen, the enemy will respawn if you haven't killed it.
Oh, so if you kill it, it stays dead?
If you killed it, it stays dead.
That's nice.
That is nice.
And so it's like you can sort of farm all the enemies in a way, but like once they're dead, they're dead.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do you know when this came out? What year?
I don't know exactly, but I do think it was later for sure.
Yeah.
And then, so, but like, man, some of the tricks that they do, like, they're so evil. Like, I had to fight, there's like this snail boss, and you're like fighting it on a slope. So, and again, like with the physics, like you're kind of sliding down, or your star would slide down at this weird angle, or like if you try to like hit it, it would like maybe bounce over. So you'd have to like get the star to slide down the slope right as the snail is about to attack you. Before that, it's not really vulnerable. But if you miss it, then it's like freaking pink laser beam, like right at. It's like,
dang.
Yeah. And then I'm trying to think, like, there's a part where there's like you ride across like the waves on like this pink Nessie kind of thing, which is cool. And then you get across these desert sands, and there's this guy riding an ostrich. Nausica. But they ride birds like chocobos almost. But then you knock him off, and then you can like ride the ostrich across the desert and like basically like walk over all the other enemies.
That's cool. I love that.
Yeah. And then like at the end, like there was this one thing where it was like this guy, this is like very much reminded me of like a Mega Man, like Dr. Wily kind of thing. This guy was like going back and forth on this rail and like just trying to figure out the right time to like get the star to hit him was crazy. But he would like keep shooting down beams. And every time you'd hit him, the beams would start getting faster. It's like bing, 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 bing. And then I'm like, what the heck? How am I supposed to dodge that?
Yeah.
And then I fight him. And then this like freaking turret comes up and starts shooting homing missiles at me. I'm like, what the heck?
Dang, that's crazy.
But yeah, the remake is $15 on Steam.
Hey.
And what's interesting is it has achievements. But if you're on like the gimme mode with like the rewind and stuff, like
you don't get them.
You don't pop them. You got to go to like the normal difficulty that I think doesn't give you rewind.
Yeah, some games definitely do that.
Love that.
Cool. Yeah, very cool. Sounds sick, Blood.
Yeah.
Another game I want to play. Damn it. We got time here. Let's talk about this game. I never heard of this game until you mentioned it to me.
I've barely played.
Let's just talk briefly about it, just to get it out there, because I never heard it existed. Trepang 2.
Trepang 2. Squared,
2.
yeah.
Okay. I just saw it was a crazy FPS. Remind me
of Fear.
Yes.
It is 100% Fear. Fucking just insane kills, insane shotgun, like awesome reload animations.
Important.
Yeah. Supernatural twist, company shit. Like, just if you like Fear, put this on your radar. It's a little expensive, $30. $30 for this one. So it's...
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah.
It's just, the game's good.
Yeah. From what I played very briefly, it was really fun. Feel the kills, but I gotta see...
more.
I gotta see more, but I did want to put this out
Tell me about, like, the first level or whatever you played.
Yeah, there's just, it's like a lot of like offices.
Fear.
Yeah, exactly. It is Fear, like just buildings. There's a lot of gray.
Do people flip over tables and take cover?
Not that I saw, but I hope they do. Pistol's really cool. I love a good pistol in a FPS. And I'm hoping there's like really good weapon variety later on. I haven't seen that, but you can like dual wield shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds
so just for my brief time with this, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm getting back to
Just a
this.
little check-in.
Yeah.
Just put it out there, a little spotlight, I guess.
Yeah. It kind of came out of nowhere. I don't even know how
It certainly came out of nowhere for me.
I don't even know how I found it, but like reviews are super, super good.
I saw that, dude.
I saw like one person was bitter about like all these baby gamers didn't even play Fear. This game sucks. It's not Fear. It's just like some clickbait psycho.
It's not Fear.
Yeah.
It's not called Fear.
You know what wasn't Fear? Person on Steam reviews? Fear 3. That wasn't Fear. So
Ooh.
yeah.
Take that.
So, you know, I'm really hyped on this because, like, I feel like the last couple years we've got so many boomer shooters of like Duke Nukem and like Doom vibes,
Shooters are
you know,
alive, hardcore.
like Project Warlock, Cultic, like all these games, but like a like 2000s retro
Shooter.
FPS shooter.
That sounds sick to me, dude.
Is like somewhat untapped. I'm sure there's other good examples.
Yeah. I agree.
But this one next time, full
time.
discussion or
Next
Huber
time.
hype or
Yeah.
something.
Cool.
Yeah.
Little tease, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's go through some of our emails real quick. If you want to send an email, please join us on patreon.com/EasyAllies, $5 and up. Send questions to this show, podcast, Easy Allies podcast, all that good stuff. First question is from SS Snake or S Snake 24. Sort of random, but with Blood and Huber there. Don't skip a space for. Oh wait, don't skip a space for
The Unbound?
For the Unbound. Yeah.
Yeah.
They said
Yeah, it's
space
on
for
that's
the
still on my
Unbound.
list. I might get it to on my break.
10 out of 10 sad game with great soundtrack. Was my goatee until Street Fighter 6. So
Yep.
10 out of 10 sad
Just
game,
a
you
quick,
said.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it
just
takes
a-
place in like Indonesia or something, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Kind of like 2D pixel art. But yeah, very story focused.
Is it the one with the family?
I think that's a different one. You thinking of the cooking one, kind of?
Yeah. Which
Yeah,
one's
you're thinking
that?
of Venba. Venba's coming out in
Venba
like
looks
a week.
sick. Okay.
And it'll be on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think Space for the Unbound might be on Game Pass too.
Okay.
I'm not sure. But yeah, that came out beginning of the year, back in like January.
Goatee Award for saddest game.
Oh.
Get ready.
That'd be a funny category. Best Jessica.
Maybe that'll
game.
just be like me and you. We'll hash those out. Saddest game.
All right. And just our quick final question from Alexander Zirianov. Hearing from him again. Hello, allies. Is rotation the most overloaded term in gaming? Besides literal usage to describe spinning movement of camera, your character, and other objects, rotation also means using abilities in specific order, an MMO, and moving across the map in Battle Royale. Besides that, I've heard the word rotation being applied for patrolling enemies in stealth games and in the context of limited availability. For example, game modes and rotation. I guess the word rotation is used to describe a lot of things in gaming. I guess
Sure.
so.
Sure.
Movement.
It's
yeah,
weird though because I don't really feel like it. I hear it a lot. It is to me more something that's very specific, like to like an MMO or something,
Yeah,
right?
use
Where
your
it's
rotation.
like, yeah, like you know a specific set of things that you got to do
I've
to
definitely
get through this fight.
I've definitely heard of like rotation in like terms of combing the map or something like that in like an online game. Like he brought up like an FPS or something like that. You know, your battle royale, you're rotating around the map, doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess so. Never really thought of it, but
Yeah.
rotation.
Rotation.
It's used a
A lot
lot.
of rotation in
Spin and
Katamari.
run.
Yeah, there's a lot of rotation in Katamari, that's for sure. But
This is funny. This seems like me noticing like how everyone on Twitter uses the word here.
yeah.
It's like an epidemic.
this weird
and
thing
like
you
all
notice.
you just weird thing where it's like if you just remove the word here, the sentence still is it's like
the same.
You're adding an unnecessary word. You're adding an unnecessary word here.
Yeah, I think that's what it is though,
Yeah.
mostly.
Yeah.
Unless you're like here,
Yeah.
right here, I
Yeah.
guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
English language is weird.
Blizzard got the patch notes wrong here. Or you know, it's like it's just look out for it. Look out for it. You'll notice it. I'm serious.
Yeah, it's like when you like think about a car and then you start seeing it everywhere
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah. When they're like so and so is wrong here instead of just like so and so is wrong. It's like I don't know. It's just
I guess
Something weird.
Maybe it's about being like super specific.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
like on this
Yeah.
specific spot right here, like in their paragraph or something.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
here, highlighted. They're wrong here.
Yeah.
But everything else, yeah, chill. I don't know.
It's just
Something weird to think about. Think about it.
Rotation.
Start thinking about rotation in here.
Rotation in here. Look out for him.
All right, that's gonna do it for this episode of Frame Trap. A spicy one for us. Feeling the heat.
I'm straight.
Heat.
I
the
feel
heat.
the drops of sweat like beating down my chest
Yeah.
right now into my
But
belly.
we talked about a lot of good stuff, a lot of good games on here. We'll be back soon. If everything goes according to plan, it'll be a special episode, but we'll see. But please look forward to it. Please be excited.
Please be excited.
And once again, please check us out on patreon.com/easyallies. Support us. We'd appreciate it. All right, everybody. We'll see you next time. Take care.